Hello and welcome to the MoreCheeseLessWhiskers.com podcast. My name is Dean Jackson, and today we've got a treat. We're going to be talking with Taki Moore, and Taki is a coach who coaches coaches, and he helps people build million-dollar coaching practices. And one of my favorite people to brainstorm with, because Taki, like me, is a 10 quick start on the Kolbe, and he just implements like crazy. So we'll hatch an evil scheme, he'll implement it immediately, and come back and share the results of it. And so we were messaging last night. He was asking about what strategies we could use with chatbots. And so I thought that's a great idea for a More Cheese, Less Whiskers episode. So we got on the phone and we were able to talk about exactly the role of chatbots in our Profit Activator 3 lead conversion system. So I think this is going to be a really great setting of a context for you if you're going to go into using bots and automations for helping your lead conversion. So enjoy this episode, and I will talk to you at the other side. Taki Moore.
Hola.
Wow. Hola. Live from Marrakesh.
Yeah, completely. Can you hear me okay? I haven't run anyone from Morocco before.
Wow. Well, this is the first. Yeah, you sound great.
Like this is
we're already
good.
We're already recording and we're ready to go. I'm fully caffeinated, just so you know, and ready to go.
So we're in for a good time. Yeah, man.
Yeah, because you talk fast. I'm caffeinated. It's early in the morning. We're going to get a double episode here.
It's going to be like a double espresso episode.
It's something like that. So You and I've been chatting a little bit, but kind of bring me up to speed here on what we're gonna focus on.
Yeah. So I'd love some help figuring out how to take the magic that you do and that I've learned from you about how to do kind of conversational email and Facebook chat and that whole kind of email dialogue thing, and how to translate that into Facebook Messenger, specifically Facebook Messenger bot, in a way that increases relationship and increases conversion and isn't weird. If that makes sense.
It does make sense, because we're at a point right now where we're kind of seeing the emergence of the bot. It's starting to make its presence known now, and you're starting to see bot webinars and things. People how to, it's right about the time where marketers will ruin bots very shortly here, right? So we want to make sure
we've probably got about 12 or 13 minutes before that happens.
Exactly.
And I'd like to do it right.
So, I think that where it's really going to settle down to is that when you're using it appropriately, when you're doing it right, I think it's going to be a wonderful tool for everybody. It's going to be very helpful for people, and it's going to be very time saving and very seamless if we do it right. But we've got to kind of set the stage for it first, So if I look at this, if we're overlaying the profit activators on top of this, we're right at the point where we have generated a lead, and that's in Profit Activator 2. They've now identified themselves as somebody, and we are right at the very beginning of Profit Activator 3. And so our goal now is, how can we engage with them? How can we use the bots, use that kind of technology, or use that approach to kind of get the conversation going, and then make an offer, whatever's appropriate in Profit Activator 4, and deliver them into our During unit. That's where we're isolating this. So this is going to be a really focused thing. So in order to do that, I want to kind of set the stage here for the context of what we're doing. And I've always looked at this, I've always been, and I don't know whether I've shared this with you, Taki. I don't know whether I've ever said it out loud yet. I've always been like,
is this the moment where you come out of the closet?
It might be, yeah. That I've always been reluctant to even use the word leads, because it's so, it sort of depersonalizes things, right? Like it automatically
they're people, right? They're
people. Completely. And so I came up with an acronym that makes it okay for me to say leads. And I just look at leads is an individual that's showing up saying, let's engage and do something. And so when you take that mindset, that's where we're starting here, that somebody essentially, they've left their contact information, or they've raised their hand, they've done whatever they've done to trigger the bot by expressing their interest. And that is the moment that they have essentially, as an individual of their own free will, shown up and said, let's engage and do something. That's the way I look at it now. Okay. And that now moves into, then of course I needed a corresponding acronym for sales, which is show all leads easy solutions. And so there's a lot of this that if we get to a point where once somebody becomes a lead, once somebody raises their hand, there's a lot of situations where people fall through the cracks. I very rarely see anybody with a diligent, like very purposeful lead recording system that tracks the outcome of an engagement like that, right? Like most of the time what I see is this funnel approach is almost like a hopper. It's almost like you put people in and then you shake them around and whatever comes out the bottom comes out the bottom, but it's not taking individual accountability for the outcome of this one individual who raised their hand. What happened to them?
Correct. People look at the stages in the pipeline, or they look at, I had 100 leads and I got 3, and they look at the 3, but they don't look at the 97. I think that's completely true.
And as long as the 3 adds up to more money than they spent to get the 100, they're happy.
Yeah, completely. Yeah,
and they
totally.
don't. And they miss out a ton. They discount the other 97, or they don't really have any sort of, ongoing, diligent sort of effort, to track and see what happened with them. So I want to take that as this approach here, that we, kind of set this up that when the moment somebody comes in, I think you're setting yourself up for maximum yield when you can really intentionally record that person raised their hand, separate them from the rest of from just the general population, right? The people you don't know. They came in for a purpose, and depending on what they've asked for, you know what that purpose is, because it can be telegraphed in the whatever they've asked for. If somebody asks for a book called The Adult Acne Cure, there's a pretty good chance that what they're looking for is the cure for their adult acne. Or if they're, looking for how to grow a 6-figure coaching practice or $1 million coaching practice, that's the track they're on. So you can assume things from that. Okay. So when we look at that, you said, interestingly, 100 people, and I always look at things like this in bundles of 100, because that's like a cohort sort of thing. Okay. So in order to go through this fully, the thing that I start with is this belief that what is the value of this group of people, this cohort of 100 people today? What's the value of this group in 2 years? So it set the stage with the long-term view first, right? I know that you've seen me talk about the studies that show that just over half of the people who inquire about anything will buy what it is they've inquired about within the next 18 months, right? So I always be ultra conservative on that, and I say, let's call it 50%. We'll undershoot that, and we'll extend it out to 2 years. And I think it's a pretty good chance that somebody who asks for something will buy something related to what they've asked for in the next 2 years, whether it's with you or not. Right? That's what I'm saying. So the real goal is to be there for that long term as well. Now, in that same study, what they found was that only 15% of the people who do buy do it in the first 90 days.
Oh,
so
okay.
That's what we're focused on right now. Right now, we look at if we're trying to, once somebody raises their hand, we set them in that context that they are, that we're here. We're going to be here 2 years from now. Hopefully, that's you're in the business that's what your intention is, that you're going to be here in 2 years. So you're not, you're not trying to pounce on them. It's completely 100% okay that they don't buy right now. But if there's any possible way that you could help them right now, that you're committed to doing that, right? So we don't want anybody to
they're in the
slip
15%.
through.
I'd like them to be with me, not with somebody else, completely.
Absolutely, and that's the thing. So that's where the goal comes now, is to get to a point where we can get into a relationship with those 15% without alienating the 85%, right? Without turning them off or scaring them away. So that's the context for the beginning of this now. And then when we look at it that way, I always look and see, how can I discover who the 5-star prospects are? And I say that word intentionally because I look at it that in order for somebody to do business with us, they are going to be a 5-star prospect, and that means that they're willing to engage in a dialogue, they're friendly and cooperative when we talk with them or when we email them, they know what they want, they know when they want it, and they'd like us to help them. And so they have to have all 5 of those in order to do business with you, right? You're not going to do business with somebody who doesn't meet all of those 5. Now, here's where most people get this flipped, is that they immediately start in on here's what you need to buy and why you need to buy it now. It's almost like they're starting backwards, right? They're starting with, here's what I've got for you today, and here's why you should buy it now, right? We're starting from the backwards element, not starting from the top. So I thought, if somebody has to be, if they have to be all 5, then why not just start at the top and let's just find who's willing to engage in the dialogue. And that makes it so much more relaxing. It's easier to get somebody in a dialogue. And once they start a dialogue, then it's much more likely that they're going to continue it. So enter the bot. We're at a situation right now where as soon as somebody asks for something, they can get it, right? That's where we want. And so we want to imagine that this lead, the person who's raised their hand, has identified themselves and is a real person now asking for help. So our whole purpose now will be to just engage in a dialogue and see if they are friendly and cooperative, and then that they know what they want, right? This is the top 3 things are really where we're started. And I think that if we can seamlessly do that with a mixture of bots or automation and personal touch, that's really going to be where the big win is. So let's all that to kind of set that stage. Now let's take it to your exact situation, and we'll have the conversation in that context.
Yeah, that's really helpful. I've learned a bunch already. I've got a page full of notes in 4 different colors. So this is great. And the context is always helpful, because even if you screw up the tactics, the context really kind of helps you stay true north. So I guess the first question that comes up, if we want them to be willing to engage in dialogue and be friendly and cooperative, the first question that comes in mind is, like, I get how the bot helps me, I guess, serve at scale or sell and serve at scale.
Uh-huh.
And there's a difference between a bot and a conversation.
Yes.
And so I guess my first question is, should I? I mean, I can see how a bot helps me, but I also don't want to use a bot if it ruins steps 1 and 2, engage in dialogue and friendly and cooperative. I feel like it could go, here's the lead magnet, and then something else could come with a conversation piece that is more Taki. Is that where we're going?
It could be. I mean, so do you want to talk about a specific situation? Like, are there any, like from a lead magnet standpoint, like what somebody may have asked for and how we would take that situation?
Yeah, totally. So I guess I'll tell you a specific situation in about 30 seconds. What I'm looking for, what would be most helpful today is if we can take my specific situation and we'll build out a conversation flow or a chat flow, whatever you want to call it, with this one, but something that I can then duplicate, like an algorithm, as you'd call it, to use for magnet number 2 or 3 or hot button number 5. That's
yes, exactly. Perfect. Yep.
Okay. Cool. So we're on the same track. So we've got a little process that's working really well for us on Facebook, which is either a video or a Facebook Live, doesn't really matter, where we'll take a video and I'll teach a particular topic. And I've usually got some kind of tool or worksheet or checklist, some kind of useful downloadable PDF thing that helps people implement the thing we just talked about. And I'll kind of hold it up and wave it around on my video. And if people want it, they can just comment, whatever the keyword is below. So the one that I just shot here in Marrakesh last night was, every month in Black Belt we have a theme. This month is all about unpacking your IP, your kind of intellectual property. And the particular tool is called the Signature System. It's just a simple one-page kind of worksheet, which helps you map out your course, your system for taking somebody from point A to point B, which is something that you can sell instead of your one-on-one coaching. So it's basically, in this case, the magnet is, one-page PDF worksheet, and along with it, there's a short little video which will explain how to use it that we can offer as well. And at the moment, the video lives in a Facebook group that we run, which is another thing that might, if it fits in this flow, it'd be nice to kind of have people inquire and potentially join a group as well, if that's a useful thing.
Okay. Perfect. So that, I think you can automatically, think that if everybody's working from the same tool, that might be a good place to, to direct people, like to put them into a group like that. So that's perfect. So there's a context for what it is that they have asked for. And if we take this specific one, it's to map out a course, right?
Yeah, completely. Yeah, like you're going to stop doing one-on-one coaching. You're going to do something more group. You need to know what that is. This thing will help you decide that. Okay,
perfect. So now here's the thing. Where we look at it is that as soon as they do this, is it automatically sending them a message, or is this automated, or are you triggering something?
No, it's automated. And I can set the time frame. Like I could send it immediately via chatbot, or I can send it. I can set a delay.
Okay.
All they need to do is comment below with the keyword, and it'll trigger the chatbot to engage if we wanted to.
Perfect. Okay. So here's where we have the opportunity, is that you can immediately send them what it is that they want, because they've never in the history of your relationship
never been more interested.
Been more excited than that moment, right? So we definitely want to give them something they can do right away. So that's the equivalent of the the initial message. Now, in that kind of a message, I would deliver what it is, but I would also then kind of set the stage that, whenever you're ready, here are some ways we can help you with links that where they might want to go next, kind of thing. What would be the next step here? And that is like it's almost like the menu in a way, right? Like, here it is.
Yeah.
This is what I've got. This is how we can help you. If you're clear on all those things, right? And there's a difference between a mature business where you've got the solutions and you've got the things laid out for them, and a business where you're sort of trying to figure out what those things are, where you're sort of, the first.
I'm ridiculously super clear about what they are.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you're super clear, then it's just letting people know, and that has some sense of comfort for people. There's a sense of leadership in it, right? Like, you're not, as John Carlton would say, selling from your back heels, right? You're selling, you're up front. Here's what I've got for you, right? It's the leadership. You've got to assume, and this is where it comes down to it on this 5-star prospect approach, that we know that half of them are going to do something. Now, what you can't tell is which half of them are going to do something.
Completely.
Just by seeing
so
their
we've got to
name.
treat everyone like they will and let them not if they want to not.
That's exactly right. So we got to treat them like they're 5-star prospects, and we've got to take them by the hand and kind of lead as here's where to go. And some people are ready and will do that. People can go through all 5 of these things at one time, or they can, or they're kind of, maybe slower to go through them. And so when we look at it, if you've got your super signature items or your next step, your cookies, what you're going to offer them, I would say it's essentially, hi Taki, here's your, and I say hi Taki, but on this I would often not personalize the first immediate response, because it then knows that you're, because when a machine is doing it, I want it to be clear that it's the machine, right? When I'm
one of the weird ideas I had was to name give the bot a name, and so they knew they were either talking to Little Mike or whatever the hell the bot's called versus Real Taki.
Fabio.
Is that a good idea? Or is that
it's
weird?
an interesting idea. It might not be. I mean, that's actually a good innovation, perhaps. Is to think like that, like to think that it's
I almost
give
write,
it a persona of itself.
Yeah, correct. Hi Dean. I'm Little Mike, Taki's chatbot. He built me to make sure you didn't have to wait for stuff because he's often busy or something like that. What's nice about that is it's obviously, it's quick, and everybody knows that I'm not that responsive on Facebook. I'm never going to get back to somebody in 2 seconds.
Right.
Or it could just be not Little Mike, and it could just be, here's the thing, and it's clearly written from the business, not from me. Thoughts?
I like both. I think that initially I like you can have it from you, but just delivered immediately, which is clearly as a, here's your download, here's the thing you asked for, and we're, wanted to get it to you right away. And then whenever you're ready, here are whatever, 3 ways we can help you. That is like, so in case you need to get to it, here's where you can download it. And then if you'd like to join this group, join us over here. We're still having a whole conversation about it. That, just kind of guiding where that next step needs to go,
Now, the only other thing that I think I need to make sure is that because of the way the chat thing is set up, in order for them to sort of be subscribed, as it were, to the follow-up messages, we need to have them reply to one of the initial messages. And ideally, if they reply with a specific keyword, then that makes it much easier for me to kind of make sure we send them the right next bits.
Yeah.
And if they don't reply, then they'll get the initial thing. But as far as I know, they won't get what comes on day 2 or 5 or or whatever.
Right. Okay. So, but can you intervene and manually send them something?
Oh yeah, I totally can. Yeah.
On day 2, right? Yeah. Right. Okay. So that, I think initially, and one of those 3 things that you say to people may be one of those instructions, right? Like imagine, you were to get the perfect words to say to somebody the moment they walked into your store or your office or whatever.
Yeah, this is your Jennifer Leathers idea. Yeah.
Your Jennifer Leathers message, right? And to say, and to direct them in that right way and get them to reply whatever they need to reply to be on the same thing. That's definitely a perfect thing to do with a bot right away. So
Roger that. So I can say,
that's
one of the
perfect.
things is join. Yeah, if one of the P.S. Whenever you're ready, here's 3 ways we can help you get more clients.
Yes.
And help you grow your business now. And one of them is to watch the 7-minute video, which will show you what to do with the worksheet. We pop it in a group so you can work with other people who are working through the worksheet too. Just reply group, and we'll get you the link. That sort of idea.
Yeah. Yes, perfect. And that way, so we're intervening at increasing levels of intimacy, So you're kind of saying we want to go through, we want it to, some number of the people will respond with whatever you instruct them to do, which is perfect. And then some will not right away. But if we now intervene as Taki, that is now the appropriate time to do that. It could be the next morning. I always use that as like the perfect kind of time frame, So the next morning, it's like you're using, and you can automate that message going out, but the tone of it can be
it's Taki,
from
not
you.
Little Mike.
Right, exactly.
Whoever. By the way, we picked Little Mike because there's this client that we love to tease, Mike, and so we thought it'd be fun to name a bot in his honor.
Little Mike. Okay, perfect. I love it.
Little Mike. Yeah, exactly.
That's
anyway,
great. I love it.
Okay, so next morning they get a message.
Yes. And then, so now, what would that message be? Yeah, what would that message be if somebody's been, they got the initial thing? Then this is your engaging message here. Same thing we do with the email, of what would be the thing that would get somebody to raise their hand. If we can get, 30 or 40% of the people to respond to that message, we're on the right track,
Yeah, correct. So just so I'm clear, are we asking an open-ended question or are we offering them a cookie?
You can, we're offering an engagement question, right? We're not offering a cookie yet. We're offering to engage in the dialogue. So we might say, hi, Taki, have you already, are you putting together your course or is it already done? Or, what the acne question we ask is, how often do you get breakouts?
Yep.
That's a great question because it's completely appropriate and it's right in the right vein, So when you look at it, you might ask somebody, have you already got a course or are you starting from scratch? Or
I might say, do you coach mostly one-on-one or in groups?
Right. Perfect. There you go.
Either way, and both of them will, exactly. Or are you putting together a course or do you already have one? Yep.
Yes. So whatever would be, sort of related to what they've asked for, but that would be just kind of rating, engaging them in a dialogue. So it can be a sorting question is one of those things, this or that, or it can be a single question that they can respond with, very simple, without having to write.
So one of the
you
questions we ask a lot by email is, exactly, is, what kind of clients do you coach? And they'll tell me,
right,
I work with, accountants or chakra tweakers or whatever the thing is.
Right.
And which is an open question.
That's perfect. Yeah. And does that question work well for you in other things? What kind of clients do you work with?
Yeah, it works great. The one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't lead naturally to something bottable, but it leads naturally to something conversable with a real person answering the questions.
Yes, of course. That's perfect. And there's the thing is that, you're looking now, often the thing that you can do is think like a chess master. It doesn't matter that, and sometimes it's easier to engage with something that doesn't appear like, if I answer this, you're going to sell me something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's like it's not the same as, do you want it in red or in blue? Where you're like, the assumption is that they're going to buy kind of thing. It's not a loaded question. And so you can ask that question initially and then ask that next question. So you might say, what kind of clients do you coach? And then if they say chakra tweakers, then you can say, then you go to that sorting question, right? Have you got a course already, or do you work with people one-on-one or in groups? Have you got a course? You're seeing where in 2 or 3 questions you can elicit what I call the love letter, where they'll now tell you everything, Yeah,
perfect.
So I think that context for it, I think the bots are good, I think, for that immediate response to something, a clear invitation to a specific date and time webinar, or where they can confirm or register their spot. That might be a good use for something like that, or a reminder of what confirmation, like a reminder if they are signed up for something, to send it like that. But I think that I know
when you worked with Frank on his chat flow, it started out conversational, and obviously due to list size, I imagine they got slammed, and then you built something a little bit more kind of yes, no, this, that, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Any thoughts about the efficacy of, that's the biggest word I've used all day. Yeah. How good is it if we do yes, no buttons versus, I know, that's the word of the day right there. Yeah, yes, no buttons versus, like with cookies. I've got this thing, would you like it? Yes, no. If you already have clients, yes, no. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I think that you can use it. That's very clear that it's it's completely a bot. Yeah, it's not a bot. That it's completely a bot, and that's great. It's okay. I think you want where it's going to get tricky is that the bots right now are not that intelligent. It's starting to get there now, where you notice on your Facebook pages when somebody inquires about something and you respond, then it's asking you a question after, like, so I've been doing some Facebook ads for a eyebrow studio here in Winter Haven,
right.
And the thing that is I'm noticing on the Facebook page now in the Messenger, after you respond, it's asking, was that about price? Like, it's asking to get to know what's going on, right? Like, was that, was that an inquiry about price? So you can see that they're kind of machine learning hooked up here, trying to create the algorithms. And I think that that's really where that's going to be a ways out. But I think anybody who's trying to like completely remove themselves from it is going to have less than stellar results compared to the people who are skillfully using it to supplement what they're doing,
clear.
to enhance it.
I understand.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you laid out the 5-star prospects, they're willing to engage in dialogue, they're friendly, cooperative, they know what they want and when they want it, and they'd like us to help them. At some stage, there's some cookies to lay out.
That's the prescription.
Like Hansel and Gretel all the way home. Yeah, correct.
Yes.
And so if I think about the end of this process, and I know I'm one of those marketers who's probably going to ruin bots for everybody, and I hope that's not the case. But the end results I'd like are one could be join a group. That's a pretty kind of low level cookie. There's we run a weekly crash course, like a kind of weekly training webinar.
Uh-huh.
We've got our case study program that somebody could join. Frankly, we've also got if they fit a certain profile, conversation. Like actually get on the phone and talk to one of my team. How do I engineer those pieces?
Well, I think just the way you described them, I think that a super signature is the perfect place to presence those initially, because they're there for everybody, right? And I can tell you from my ramped up use of the super signature that it makes a tremendous difference, just in engagement and the numbers of people who engage in the dialogue. And so we know that that's true. But also when you're then having those dialogues with people, to have those in the back of your mind, where it's headed, right? Like, where you're going with it. So you always, in all those dialogues, you're going to know what's the next appropriate step for somebody. And you're taking that leadership role to guide them.
Yep.
So, I think that if you it really is just like a timeline with channels in a way, that if they're on the default timeline, which is they opted in, and then what are they going to experience? This is a great way to kind of map it out, is to look at what are they going to get otherwise. They're going to get this immediate thing, and it's going to have an option for them to do something or not do something.
Yeah.
And if they don't do something, then what's going to show up the next day is this question that is meant to engage them in a dialogue. And if they don't respond to that, then I want to immediately drop them into the long-term flagship sort of communication, right? Where every week, this is one of the biggest assets for Profit Activator 3 is a weekly flagship that at the very least, this is what everybody's getting,
Yes. Yep.
Like once a week could be your podcast.
Yeah, for you it's a podcast like this, or it might be a video that I shoot. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, your email.
Like for me, I'm a video guy. I really enjoy that. So shoot a video. It lives up on my site. Email goes out. The weekly flagship is the email that sends people to watch that video.
Yes.
If you were in my shoes, would you take that same email, maybe modify it a little bit, and pop it into into this chat group?
Well, I would say like your thing. Are you getting somebody's email with this chat too, or? Because I think you would want, as I think that's where you want to like simplify things and get that, move that into
an email.
One place, right? Exactly, and use that messenger situation when you really want to, get a message to somebody. So you may, after 10 days or after the next week, you may send a short message to them if you're doing a webinar and say, hey, I'm getting together with some people on Thursday to brainstorm or to talk about whatever. Would you like to join us? Yeah. And you could even do that kind of thing if you don't want the manpower or the impression of trying to like engage individually with those. You could use a button. Yes, send me the details, or yes, I can make it, or no, I won't be able to. You could send little Mike out to do that,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But so then that flagship, then everybody, it's just constantly about this, looking at the asset that you're growing, that and a lot of people don't differentiate their before unit list and their after unit list, that they don't. Understand. Right. That everybody, that
there's everything to everyone.
Everything to everybody. Right. Exactly. And I think that having that at least, understanding, we often will use a 5-star, a rating system for each of the leads. Right. So if somebody, opts in, they're on the list, but if they're willing to engage, if they respond to something, then they get one, we flag them with different, one flame. And then if they engage in a dialogue, that's 2 flames. And, so now we know if they've asked for something.
Just so I'm really clear, tell me where these flames live. Like, what system are you flaming people in?
So I use in GoGo clients. We use the flags for, because that's where you can tag people. So I know that I can respond to anybody who has reached a certain level, Yep. So if somebody, I know that I can go in and let's say that, so I'm heading to London next month, right?
Yeah.
And so how we'll often use this is, and actually we just sent a message out today using this exact situation, that I will, in my super signature, especially for all of this year, one of the things has been talking about my my summer tour. I'm going to Toronto, London, Amsterdam, Sydney. And so now every week people will respond and say London, or they'll respond and say Sydney. And so they get flagged that way, that they've responded and asked specifically about Sydney. So now if somebody asks about Sydney and they've been sent the information and then replies back, they'll get another flame, in that they're that much more engaged. So I can send, like right now in London, we're in a situation.
You can go, I want to send anyone who said London and has 3 flames or more, for example.
Yeah, I've only got 3. I have 3 spots left for London. And so that message today just went out to that group. The people who expressed an interest were sent the info and replied back. So that's the who that goes out, and that will, I'm sure, fill those last 3 spots for London today.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that tagging and flagging or whatever system people are using
Yep.
to be able to keep that. That's part of that record keeping, of documenting.
We talked about right stuff. Yeah, completely.
Yeah, where everybody is, so that what's happened with them. And so I look at it that the immediate messages can be sent with a bot. The engaging question can be sent the next morning with a bot, and the whole goal being to raise them up to the point where now they're engaged with somebody in a real dialogue. And once they've reached that level, like level 3, where they're actually engaged with somebody, that's a different it's a different person, different
that's
level.
a person, not a bot. Yeah, completely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, the interesting thing about this is that I always have to caveat that the thing, once you understand that people either are or are not 5-star prospects, and that you're not going to create 5-star prospects, you're only going to discover them. Once you get that mindset, that's really the freedom, because it takes the stress away that you're not trying to
I don't have to do anything. I just have to look at them and figure out if they are. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think let's walk through it here. How do you think, based on what we've been talking about here, you'll deploy something like that?
Yeah. So we'll deploy it today. I've got a really specific use case that I can kind of pull the trigger on this afternoon. It's, it's like 2:00 here in Morocco. We've got, it'll take us a couple of hours to get this going, I think. I've got a couple of things I've got to figure out. So right now, somebody replies to a Facebook post, with a comment, and the comment has a keyword in it. It's going to trigger the chatbot. So now I've got a couple of things here. I've got to get them to reply with the keyword in order for this whole thing, I think, to do what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And number 2, at some stage, I've got to get an email address, which I haven't figured out how to do that yet. So if we can just kind of focus in on those 2 things, I'd right at the start of this process, that'd be really handy.
Okay, I've been using the Facebook lead ads, where they can sign up through Facebook, so we get the email address attached to it, but we also gets their Facebook email, the one they use for that, so which is often their good email,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, I don't recall whether that's what happens with the bot. Which one are you using?
I'm using ManyChat.
Yeah. And I think it's just the Messenger one then. So now I think I would look into that to see, is there a seamless way that you can get their email address, or make it easy for them to just send their email address,
Right.
Or are these people who you already have?
No, they're not.
In your world, you're running ads?
No, there's going to be we're running ads, exactly right.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. So have you done the test on running ads where they can...
lead ads?
Yeah, lead ads. Mm-hmm.
No, I haven't.
Comparing, I mean...
Yeah, completely.
And can you feed lead ads into ManyChat, or is that an integration?
Dude, we're a few hours of tinkering away from figuring that out. I'll just get my boots on it. I'll talk to them after I speak with you. Okay.
Because that would be the easiest if you have both, right? If you have the way to do that, that would be easy. But otherwise,
yeah, if we could do it in an automated way,
otherwise you're going to have to get them to go somewhere, right? Exactly.
Otherwise you're going to have to get them to go somewhere or to type it in.
Right, exactly.
And then
now the interesting thing that you can often, one of the things that you can do is often you can use something like that, like to demonstrate something for somebody, like to, just as a way for them to experience it in a way, is to have them go and opt into go watch this. Here's how we use this kind of thing. Almost like build it into into the content, right?
Yeah. The other thing I wondered is ManyChat gets triggered off a keyword, right? And so I wonder if I could have, if the keyword contained the @ symbol, that could be the first thing. So, hey, I'm just checking that you wanted the, the PDF thingy. If that's right, just type your email address below and we'll send it to you. And ManyChat can go, oh, it's given us an @ symbol. That's an email address. I wonder if that would work.
Great. I wonder. This is the way that innovation happens, is us thinking this way about how to get something to do what we want it to do,
Yeah. And then we can say, great, we'll email it to you, by the way, meanwhile, here it is right now.
Yes.
Something like that. That could totally work. Well, that may totally work. Okay, that's good. Okay, so just so I'm really clear, what would be really helpful for me is, let's say I've just commented on the thing and you're little Mike. Can you just run through what just obviously don't get the wording perfect, but like first message might say what specifically?
So that might be, I don't think it would be any different than what we talked about,
It's going to be our Jennifer Webb. It's going to be his.
Yeah, I think it would be. I think it would be just that exactly, and with with also a mention of and I'm little Mike. If there's anything, here's some things I can help you with, kind of thing. If there's anything that little Mike could trigger, that might be a good way to put that, like to frame
in the chat super signature.
Yes, exactly. That would be a good way to reframe the super signature in a way, right? Like there's something that they can get instantly.
Yep.
Yeah, that I can direct to you. I can get you going here, and which could also include something like tell Taki I'd like to talk to him, or because why not have that as one of the options?
That's good. All right.
Yeah, you just imagine it's almost like having a really nice, having something manned. I think there's something to this whole idea of imagining it as a retail situation, as a retail store, and the keyword or whatever they've put in the subject kind of gets them into the door, and then how they're greeted if they're in your retail store. Just imagining a bot there. And the interesting thing is that it's not, I think where we get to that people are going to be sort of inclined to want to completely abdicate to to the bot, like have it be this is, I'm going to be on Easy
all
Street
all the time.
Yeah, it's really interesting to know that it's the combination, of the human intelligence and the artificial intelligence that's the big win. Like people got all excited when the AI beat the chess player, beat the guy.
Casper
But
or
now,
yeah.
Now the highest rated chess players are not. It's not the AI, and it's not a human. It's the combination. They call them centaurs, I think, where it's like they're a human playing an artificial intelligence enabled human. And I think that's really where we're headed here, right? That an artificial intelligence enabled human is going to be the winning thing in these. I just like it that it's going towards a point where people are going to get what they want. It's easy for people to get served, but it's so often it's difficult to to let people fall through the cracks that way too, right? That they don't they don't show up and kind of put them into this AI black box and stand at the end of the tunnel waiting for the 5-star prospects to pop out,
Yeah, which is a really nice loop back to the conversation we had at the start about the three out of 100 who do the stuff, and and losing the 97. Yep.
I think that's valuable. Well, I can't wait to hear what you do with it.
Well, dude, we're gonna have some fun with it. I guarantee it. I'll have some stories within a couple of days.
I love that. That's my favorite thing about you. You're a disciplined executor.
No, completely not. Totally not. I'm on a Kolbe. I'm a 1-3-10-4. I have no need for that much information, and I'm a 10 quick start. So it's going to be done now imperfectly, but we'll get some feedback and we'll be able to change it from there.
I love it. So share a little bit about why you're in Marrakesh right now, just to to set a little context for what's going on here, because I know this is you are living the dream, as they would say.
Yeah, well, we kind of are. I feel ridiculously privileged. So a little bit of backstory. 2 years ago, we had a really great year in business. But at the end of the year, I felt like the year was a little bit beige, like a little bit, And every year we pick a word for the year, and it's like our theme. And so last year, my theme was adventure, and it was like, how do we have more adventures? Because what's the opposite of beige? Adventure. And so we did a lot of really fun stuff, and had an amazing time. We rode camels, and we went to Morocco. We went to all over the world. And had a great time. And I got back and I was sitting at my taco shop, where all good ideas happen. And I remember thinking to myself, wow, what an incredible year. I don't know how this could possibly get any better. Like, how could we top this next year? And this little voice in the back of my head said, well, what if you never came back? I'm like, ooh. So the word for this year is nomad. And so we just grabbed out a blank calendar. And 3 times a year, we physically need to be somewhere. We run workshops in California and Sydney. Mm-hmm. So, we put those 3 workshop periods in. And then the rest of the year, frankly, we could, if you could be anywhere, if you're going to be doing the same work anyway, why wouldn't you make your office fun? And so about a month ago now, we pulled the kids out of school and hired.
So what? Just for context, what age are the kids?
Well, I've got 6, but the 3 older ones are all kind of working full time. They're in their 20s. We've got a 7-year-old and an 8-year-old, my 2 daughters, and then Ethan, who's 16 now, coming with us. So we pulled them out of school and hired a teacher to kind of come traveling with us. And we've got 12 months on the road, and we just made a list. Karen Marie, my wife, and I made a list of all of the fun places we'd like to go in the next 3 years, and we just put as many of them as we could in the calendar. And so we've kind of, if you imagine looking at a propeller from the front, we've got like the circle in the middle and then 3 blades.
Yes.
That's kind of how the idea started. Like Sydney was the hub in the middle, because we've got to go back there 3 times a year, and then 3 blades are like 3 multi-month adventures looping. Yeah, exactly. And so we've got an Asia loop, which we've just finished. We're in our Europe loop right now, and then North and South America loop next. And so far we've been Bali and Thailand and the Philippines, dropped in on California for a workshop run by a great guy called Jason Gaynard. Shout out to him. And we're supposed to go to London, but one of our friends, Shah, said, it's my birthday. I'm going to Marrakesh. So it's like 3 hours from London. So we're in Marrakesh for a little bit. It wasn't scheduled, but we're here. Then to London in a couple of days. And then, Barcelona, and then the Amalfi Coast in Italy for a month or two. And then back to Oz in July for workshops.
That's so great.
And then off
to Brazil. When are you going to be
in,
are you still going to be in London around the 23rd?
Let's have a look. No, we're going to be in Spain, I think. But dude, we're a short help over, and so we'll, if you take a yacht and I take a yacht, we'll meet in the middle of an ocean somewhere, and
we can go to where's that place that? Where does Andre live now? In
he's in like Gibraltar or something, isn't he?
Gibraltar, yes.
He's a good man. Him and Anita are great people. I'd love to hang out with him. So, yeah, we should totally gate crash Gibraltar.
Well, there you go. All right, Taki Moore. I have enjoyed this. I always enjoy talking.
Yeah, me too. Thank you. This has been really helpful.
Because I know that every time we talk, we're going to get some great experiment results within the next 48 hours here. So I love to hear that.
Yeah, we totally will. So I'll let you know how little Mike goes. And we're going to wind him up and send him out into the world and see if people think little Mike is weird. And we'll see what happens.
All right, man. Enjoy Marrakesh, and I will talk to you soon.
You'll take good care. Thanks for taking the time.
Bye.
And there we have it. I always love talking with Taki. He's such a great, he's got such a great marketing mind, and it sounds like having an incredible adventure, living the dream, living all over the world with his kids and running their business from everywhere, which is really the great opportunity of our time. That's really something that would not have been possible when I was a kid. And so, we sometimes take that for granted, but if it's all in the cards for you, that might be something that you could look at. So I'm excited. Now, if you want to continue the conversation here, you can go to MoreCheeseLessWhiskers.com. You can download a copy of the More Cheese, Less Whiskers book. And if you'd like to be a guest on the show, just click on the Be a Guest link, and that will take you to a little form where you can fill out, and we'll see what kind of evil schemes we can hatch right here for you. I've got this month starting another case study group for our email mastery program. And if you would like to be part of that, where we get a chance to work one-on-one on crafting email campaigns for you, Taki's been a part of that program. We had a really great result with his case study, creating and modeling a case study for his group. So that would be a cool thing if you have a list of people that you are communicating with in Profit Activator 3 right now. Just send me an email, dean@deanjackson.com, and put email mastery in the subject line, and we'll get you all the details on that. And if you haven't already downloaded the email mastery book, you can do that at emailmastery.com. So that's it for this week, and I will talk to you next time.